It's early autumn 2024, and I am living in a scientifically proven, undeniable global climate crisis. I'm not the bee, by the way. I'm a storyteller, here to meet a group of climate activists. We're hosted by Sheepdrove, a progressive organic farm in this strangely warm English countryside. I'm going to invite these people to tell their stories, and, like this bee collects nectar, offer them up to you. Food for thought. These activists are all involved in non-violent direct action, and thanks to the Public Order Act 2023, the law is being used to silence their voices. In court, activists aren't allowed to mention the climate crisis or use it as a justifiable defence. If they do, jail time is inevitable. These humans have been putting their bodies and their futures on the line to tell us, to scream it in our faces, that we all need to wake up. I'll be honest, like a lot of people, I found some of their protests confronting. I'll happily march down Whitehall with the masses, but would I deliberately set out to upset people? Not really. I'd rather stay at home, try and raise my family, try to progress my career, try not to worry about, well, you know. These people have stepped off the conveyor belt and are trying to get through to us. And now, caring about the future, all our futures, carries a huge personal risk. Who are they? And why are they willing to do this? I didn't know who I would be meeting, but the media, the trial judges, the Prime Minister, have all been vocal about who they are.
Basically, and then there's like riotous. Suit us, like all just doing anything.
Arrogant fanatics, eco-zealots, criminally idiotic.
We're never going to get this.
That's me in the hat, by the way.
Do you want me to lie on the ground on the side?
Over everyone's lap.
It's a classic of mine.
Yes, please. You got a bikini?
I forgot it,
borrow mine.
I knew you'd have one.
Is it them? Are they the disgraceful vandals who pose a high risk to society?
We take these actions which they seem ridiculous and ludicrous from the outside if you look at them. But what they do, they give us this platform. Suddenly, who wants to talk to me? Nobody. But you do some action and immediately somebody wants to interview me. They want to know my views on something. And I said, 10 minutes ago you weren't interested. I'm just a boring person.
The most stark sort of separation I felt is amongst my friends, my close friends that I had before getting involved with Just Stop Oil, and seeing the way that those relationships evolve over time. And while I'm still friends with them, their kind of judgment of what I do, they sort of see it as, oh, that's Avery's sort of like hobby, or she's a bit like weird and like really into this thing, and we still like her, but it's a bit strange. But I do think that like to come, and I get really frustrated because for me it feels like this is like my whole life now, and it's the only thing that I can think of about most of the day. But I think maybe that's part of it, is that fear of when you really come to terms with why we're doing what we're doing and with the situation that we're in, it does like radically change your life, and not always in positive ways. And so I think it's easier to separate yourself from that reality and just see it as this is people who are a little bit fanatic, and I understand what they're doing, but I'm not going to allow myself to be open to that because it's terrifying in a way.
The reason that I have put myself in the positions that I have, the reason why I got arrested 9 times and went to prison twice, is because of the threat that we face from fascism. So it is now entirely conceivable, and in the academic literature, that we could face up to 1 billion climate refugees by the year 2050. I don't want to live in that world, right? I don't want to live in a society where our way of dealing with humanitarian crises is to build walls or to use machine guns on migrants who are escaping from the damage that Western countries are largely responsible for.
Talking about how people view us, and I've had conversations with people who like kind of ask me why I'm doing all over of like trying to figure it out. At this point, I kind of like to turn it back on them, where it's like, this is why I'm doing it, this is the reason. But you tell me, it's actually, I'm the one doing something. You're the one judging me while doing nothing. You tell me what I should do. And I think it forces them to think about what could be done, what could they do, what should I be doing instead of what I'm currently doing right now. Because I'm firm in my position. I understand it enough to where I know the significance of what I'm doing. If you object to it, you tell me what I need to do better.
The continued exploitation of black and brown people, of women, all of that is enough to fuel my fire.
It got to about 24 hours and I had a complete break of psyche, and I was the lowest I've been possibly in my whole life in the police cell, but determined to do everything I could to continue for the cause. And I remember being distressed but hopeful and driven, and on the back of one of the cardboard packaging for pilau rice or something, I had written in a pen they'd given me, I suffer for the future of this planet out of love. And I put that in the very centre of my floor and stared at that until the moment I was let out, because that is, I think, the message core to me as a person.
I was told the other day that I've been arrested about 27 times. I wouldn't have the faintest idea, and it all merges into one.
The real heroes are the we, the collective we. And I remember sharing a cell with Eddie, these bonds don't go away when you've had a week together in Birmingham on holiday, on remand.
She was on the platform because she couldn't get all the way up to the pipes because she was scared of heights. But the fact that she still did that was really, and crying the entire way down, being arrested, being abseiled down, was really powerful. I was the one who was recording that on the phone, and I was really moved. Life hasn't changed as much as you thought it would. So this did get some quite good media attention because it broke the record. So it was for the longest oral terminal occupation. So because of that, it got some attention, but it still didn't get much. So then having sort of the disappointment of coming out that it didn't move things in the way that you thought it would, and also realizing that the phone I filmed that testimony on, which really moved me and I really wanted to show others, had broken. I accidentally broke it on the pipe when I was clinging onto it.
This feels like the beginning of a very big journey for me in finding how I see myself again and moving away from, Anna Holland, soup thrower, menace to society, and coming back to who I actually am. And I think it just really speaks a lot to how destructive the media can be without even realising it. We have no idea the effect they have.
Generous, open, kind, funny. The people I met couldn't have been more different from their media headlines. Spending time in their company, I felt more hopeful than I have in a long time. But like me, and maybe like you, they are also frustrated, frightened, and also, they are criminals.
I don't know if you've been there, but you have a choice to either walk to the stones, takes about 20 odd minutes, or you can get a coach and it'll take you there in a few minutes. We thought about this for a microsecond and we thought we'll walk. It was a beautiful day and we walked. And this is the person I didn't know at all, barely known him for minutes really. And as we walked along, they started naming wild plants, and I love this, and I did the same. So I was on the other side. So we were both naming wild plants that we saw, that we identified, and so this sense of kinship, this sense of we're doing a grounding exercise without even preparing it, and they said that skylarks, and I said which ones, because I didn't know what a skylark sounded like. And they described it, and I think, yeah, I get it. So I hear a skylark for the first time. a lot of people were shouting at us, you know. I mean, if I'd been there, if I'd seen somebody doing that, I would have tried to intervene to stop them, because it looked terrible what we were doing, you know, just vandalising this precious monument. But it's all magic. It's all make-believe. It's all well prepared. You know, there was no damage whatsoever. It's been very well thought out.
Slight contrast to that when we did the Magna Carta action. The people who were around Magna Carta just looked at us and just walked out, you know. As if this happens every day. But the similar thing was that the library staff came in and they said, oh, well, there's not much damage. Just go, ladies, just go. So we said, no, you have to call the police. We never have called the police. We've never called the police. We don't know how to do that. I said, look, just telephone the police, the local police, and they will come and arrest us. Oh, so they came. Of course, the police did eventually come, and they looked at it and they said, oh, there's not much damage. Just go, ladies. So we said, no, like you will have to be accountable for this. The press isn't interested if you're not arrested. No, you have to arrest us. We don't want to arrest you, but you must arrest us.
Yes, I'm
compelled to do all that I can.
Can you stop doing that, please? Stop filming, please.
To alleviate the appalling suffering that's coming down to us and is here already.
The canary this time was a rainbow. He evolved that way so that we could not so easily ignore him. With the help of an artist and a poet, his wish was granted. But in that tricky halfway the universe so loves, he was certainly heard.
Women did not get the vote by voting. It is time for deeds and not words. It is time to just stop oil.
He was so loud the men who ruled the earth felt something unfamiliar. A rush of blood in their ears, and could it be a beat of the heart?
I'm Mark Coleman. I'm a retired vicar from Rochdale. I'm 63 years old, and I'm here because I can't face seeing the destruction of this planet and human life.
The canary's song was so sweet, so true. These men couldn't help but feel, and they feared what they felt. Some wounds cannot be stopped with money. They didn't like that. So they did what all scared men do. The canary's wings broke easily, but that voice...
Because this government is making the criminal decision to destroy people's lives by supporting fossil fuel companies to maintain their grip around the throat of humanity.
That damned song rang sweeter and stronger than before. No matter how many times the men stopped the flight of our rainbow of revolution, they could not stop the music.
What is worth more, art or life? Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people?
Those whose hearts had not failed heard the canary, and their souls were stirred. Not with fear, but something far older and stronger. Courage took flight that night.
Which is the more disturbing illusion? The vanishing graffiti on Stonehenge? Or the one where ordinary kind humans who care about the future are turned into criminals?